Welcome back to another episode of the Armchair Pundits podcast. This is the Liverpool post-match review show. And as you're fully aware, Liverpool have finally lost an away game. First away defeat of the season, and also our first defeat in 26 games. So in reality, it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Yes, we've lost the game. Yes, we didn't play well. But in the grand scheme of things, it's one defeat in 26, and we've still got the title fully in our hands. So I am not completely angry. But yes, I'm disappointed because we've lost the game. Liverpool fans never want to see our team lose a game. So as we go through the episode, you'll see player ratings that I do towards the end won't be very favourable to our players. But that's because we did not have a very good performance. Some players came on and did okay, but the majority of our players did not perform to the standard that we want them to on a normal basis. But before I move forward, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to smash that notification button. Right. So, we've lost 3-2. First half, possibly the worst first half I've seen us have this season. It's a record that we've never scored first in a Premier League game and then gone on to concede 3 goals in the first half. That's never happened before. And hopefully that will never ever happen again. But it's just really poor first half, really sluggish. Haven't seen our defence look that shaky as a unit in a while. Yes, we're missing a right back, but that shouldn't make our whole defence look a bit shaky. Did they target our right hand side? Yes, they did. But we should have performed better, in my opinion. Kelleher, not greatest performance. I think the goals we conceded, a couple of them, or maybe one of them at least, he could have saved one. The XG for Fulham wasn't the highest, but we'll get into more of that a little bit later. But overall, do I give Fulham credit? Yeah, I give Fulham credit. I said it in my WhatsApp group before the game even started that this is going to be a game where Fulham are going to come for our throats, and they did. But I was hoping that we would stand up to it. And until Mac Allister scored in the 14th minute, Fulham were the better team. There's no denying that. Then when Mac Allister scores a thunderbolt, fantastic goal, he has a habit of doing that against Fulham, I thought to myself, okay, yeah, 1-0 up, let's do this. Let's get our foot on the ball, move the ball quickly, and control the game. But if we're being completely honest, when they scored their goal in the 23rd minute through Sessegnon, it was a deserved equaliser. In all honesty, it was a deserved equaliser. And then you thought to yourself, okay, cool, have a few minutes to settle down. Then Iwobi scores, and you're thinking to yourself, how is this happening? That's the goal, if I'm not mistaken, where Robbo inexplicably decides to play a cross-field ball from the left back across the defence, across the pitch. Listen, we're taught in primary school, you don't play across your defence. You don't play across your penalty box. So why he chose to do that rather than going up the line is beyond me. But it was just really poor first half performance. Then obviously they score in the 37th minute through Muniz. I think Van Dijk needs to be stronger there. Complains to the referee, and he has this aura, which he does have. But sometimes he has this little thing where he doesn't believe he should have contact when he's more than willing to give contact to other players. So stronger there, Van Dijk, and that doesn't happen. So then you sit there and you think, how have we actually played in the first half? Then I look at the stats. I look at the stats for the first half. Fulham 46% possession, us 54. But expected goals, they had 0.55, we had 0.6. Total shots, they had 9, we had 2. Shots on target, they had 5, we had 1. Big chances, which is really important. They had 3 big chances in that first half. That shouldn't be happening in a half of football against us. And they missed 1. So they get 2 goals from that. Us, no big chances. It's obviously none missed. We've had more of the ball. Accurate passes, 205, which is 81% to their 173. But all in all, could you say we look dangerous in the first half? No, I wouldn't. But then you're sitting there and you think to yourself, Slot, who I often call Surgeon Slot, he usually has a knack of getting the players in at half time and changing things in terms of not always personnel, but tactically. But I'm sitting at the first in half-time thinking we're going to make some changes in personnel. I'm thinking Jones, it's not working at right back today. Bradley's on the bench. Yes, he's not fully fit, otherwise he would have started. He's been out for about 3 months, if not more. So I don't expect him to come and start 90 minutes or half an hour, 45 minutes. Sorry, 45 minutes or an hour. But come on half-time, maybe. Come on 60 minutes, which he probably ended up doing, and make a change for us. Make us better. Or do something else. Szoboszlai had to come off. Szoboszlai was horrid today. Really, really bad today. Just wasn't getting involved in a game enough. Wayward passing, and this wasn't his normal self. I'm a big fan of Szoboszlai, so just expected better from him. So he could have come off at half time, because for some reason Slot has this issue where he's not using Harvey Elliott. I'm 99% sure Harvey Elliott, has not started a single Premier League game this season. And there's no reason for that. Yes, he had injuries, but he's more than good enough. And Szoboszlai's had enough below par performances for him to be given his chance to start as our number 10 or as our high 8. So that was not great. But then we move on to the second half. Like I said, I'm expecting a better performance. And to be completely honest, it was a better performance. We were so much better in the second half. And we won the second half, which is something you always ask for. If you're going to lose the first half as bad as you did, win the second half. Evidently, it wasn't good enough for us because we still lost the game. But the performance was a lot better. Look at the stats. Way more of the ball. We had 71% possession to their 29. Expected goals, they went down to 0.20. We had 1.05. We had 12 shots on goal to their 3, 5 shots on target to their 1, 3 big chances, and we missed 2 of them. We scored those big chances, we draw the game. Them, no big chances at all. Even pass accuracy, 84 passes that were accurate from them, with 69%. Us, 258 passes that are accurate, 87%. So we were so much better in the second half, but I never saw us coming back to win the game 4-3. And at a stretch, I thought, yes, we could potentially come back and come back and draw 3-3. But I didn't see us winning it, and unfortunately, we didn't do either. Diaz comes on, really good performance from him. Possibly should have started, but I'm not going to be Mr. Hindsight. I had no issue with Gakpo starting, because Gakpo has, before his injury, he was having a really, really good spell. So no issue there. I think it's a good double act to rotate the two of those. But Diaz got man of the match against Everton, in my eyes. So away from home against Fulham, who we knew was going to be tough, potentially we probably should have started him. But again, that's hindsight. So just not really happy with today, obviously, because we lost. But we're 11 points clear, guys. So I'm not down in the dumps. We're going to win the league. We're not going to have some major floppage where it goes down to 2 points or whatever. I don't see that happening. We're going to win the league. Really happy with that. At the beginning of the season, if you asked me, would you be happy on game week 31 being 11 points clear? I'd have snapped your hand off. So I'm not going to sit here and act like what we've done so far this season hasn't been fantastic, because it has. It's been a fantastic season so far. And by the end of the season, it's going to be a fantastic season. So, as I always do, I'll move on to the player ratings. As I said, today wasn't a very good performance. So the player ratings aren't going to be favourable. So, start off with the goalkeeper, as I always do. Kelleher, not a great performance from him today. I thought, personally, he gets 4.5. 4.5. Makes 3 saves, but he's a minus in goals prevented. Minus 1.22, which means even the computer stats believe that he should have saved at least 1 goal. I'm looking at Muniz's goal, which goes straight through him. You've got to get something on it. He has in the past, so I'm not going to be too hard on him. He saved us so many times, but today wasn't his day today. He gets a 4.5. Jones, if you were just playing right back for the whole game, he probably would have got a 3 or a 4. But I'm giving him a 5 because, for me, when he went into midfield, he looked better. He looked better when he went in midfield. So accurate passes, he's always good with that. 32 out of 35, 91%. But tackles 1, 0 out of 2. Duels 1, 3 out of 6. 50%. Not good enough. That's ground duels and aerial duels combined for him this time. But like I said, when he went in midfield, he was more positive going forward, better with link-up play, and passing got us moving better. It was better than Szoboszlai was further forward, but still wasn't good enough today. He gets a 5. Van Dijk, one of the worst performances I've seen from the season. He gets a 4. Tackles 100%, which is obviously not bad. But ground duels, 1 out of 4. That's not Van Dijk-like. Aerial duels, 3 out of 6, 50%. Not Van Dijk-like at all. And he also gets dispossessed twice. Really, really bad week for him personally. I don't think he had a good game against Everton. And he's compounded that with having an even worse game against Fulham today. Listen, he needs to step up next week when we play West Ham and put in a normal Van Dijk performance. His partner today, Konate, also gets a 4. 2 out of 3 tackles, 67%. Ground duels, 3 out of 5, 60%. Aerial duels, 2 out of 5, 40%. Aerially, he's usually a monster. Usually absolute monster. But he was so shaky to the point where he got subbed and forced Slot to play some weird formations and systems just to try and get us back in that game. Not happy with his performance today. Again, he wasn't great in midfield in midweek either against Everton. First half mainly. Second half, he was okay. But today, wasn't good today. So 4 for him. Robbo, he gets a 3.5. Tackles, 1 out of 2, 50%. Ground duels, 3 out of 4. Not bad, 75%. Aerial duels, 1 out of 2, 50%. And the most important thing, 1 error leading to a goal. Why on earth did you play that cross football when you just played up the line? So he gets a 3.5. Not happy with his performance whatsoever. Probably should have subbed him for Tsimikas at halftime. Mac Allister, he was one starter that was actually good. Can't really fault him. Tackles, 1 out of 3. He never always wins his tackles. That's normal for him. 2 chances created. He scores a goal. Accurate passes, 45 out of 56, 80%. But he never stopped. He was trying to help us get forward over and over. He was battling. He was harrying. He was doing interceptions. So for me, I've given him a 7. Some might say 7 is a bit too high because we played so poor in the first half. But I don't think he personally was that bad in the first half. So I've given him a 7. Gravenberch, I've given him a 6. Don't think he was good enough today. Accurate passes, 65 out of 71, 92%. Tackles 1, 0 out of 2. Ground duels, 7 out of 10, which is not that bad. He was good on that. Aerial duels, 1 out of 4. So ground duels, 70%. Aerial duels, 25%. But even on the eye, he looked sluggish. He looked slow. Gave the ball away. I was like, come on, man. Just do things simple. There's one time when he had a simple pass, he gave it away, but then won it back straight away. But then it wasn't a great pass, it was a sideways pass. So he's been tired, been overused. I don't blame him. He's started way too many games this season, and I feel that he should have been rotated. Szoboszlai was the worst on the pitch today. I've given him a 3. Ground duels, 0 out of 1, 0%. Accurate passes, 22 out of 28, 79%. Shots on target, 0 out of 2. Touches, 34. That is really low. Considering where he plays, high up, behind our striker, 34 touches is nowhere near good enough. When you look at the other midfielders around him, they had way more touches. I look at Gravenberch touches. He's had 93 touches in the game. Mac Allister, he's had 78 touches. Yes, they played slightly more games, slightly more minutes, but it's not like Szoboszlai came off after 30 minutes. Szoboszlai played 55 minutes. He should have had more than 34 touches in the game. That's not a good performance from him in general. Gakpo, not great from him. I've given him a 4. Accurate passes, listen to this, guys. Accurate passes, 6 out of 7. 86%, which is obviously 6 out of 7, but 21 touches in the game. Not good enough. 7 passes in the whole time he was on the pitch. It means that he didn't get involved enough. Yes, other players means other players didn't get him involved enough, but he needs to find the ball if he has to. Dribble success, 1 out of 3. Accurate crosses, 0 out of 2. He's got a 4. Unlike him, he's not normally this ineffective. So yeah, he gets a 4. Salah also gets a 4. Chances created though, 2. But big chance miss, 1. Ball came to him on his left foot, just passed it into the corner. It was wasn't the easiest chance, but you're Salah. Get it on target at least. But he blazed it straight over. Dribble success, 0 out of 2. And I think there's a stat where he lost the ball 19 times. I'm not really bothered about that because wingers who try to dribble often lose the ball. And then accurate crosses, 1 out of 5, which is one of the worst for me. He's very creative for us, so his crossing needs to be better. So that's 20%. Salah, said 4. Not happy with that. Jota, again, another 4. Accurate passes, 2 out of 8, 25%. Shots on target, 1 out of 1. There you go. But he should have scored it. It was a big chance miss. Should have scored that chance. Successful dribbles, 0 out of 1. So listen, not happy with his performance in general today. Was okay midweek, gets us the goal. And I was sitting there thinking, yep, Jota's back. He's streaky. He's going to go on a nice little streak and get a goal here and there. But it wasn't his day today. I'll move on to the subs now. Diaz came on, made a difference. Made a difference for me. Accurate, he gets a 7.5. Accurate passes, 19 out of 22. Chances created, 2, and he gets a goal. So positive display from him today. Happy with his performance, from being completely honest with you. Javier comes on. He was positive. He was better than Szoboszlai in that position. Accurate passes, 22 out of 27, 81%. Hit the woodwork. Yes, it's not great, but he had an effort and he was close. Shots on target, 1 out of 3, 33%. But he was a positive. And I've said before, I don't understand why he hasn't started a Premier League game this season. He needs to be used more, and I would say he probably should start when we play against West Ham. He might not. He'll probably start Jones or probably start Szoboszlai again, but I believe he should start that game. And Bradley, thought it was a positive return for Bradley. Gets an assist. Ground duels, 2 out of 2, 100%, and creates 2 chances from right back. Really positive running on the ball, and he made a difference. Could have been a different game if he was fit enough to start, but he wasn't. And then the last 2 subs, Nunez, horrible performance. Might have not even been worth subbing him on. He gets a 3. I'm never going to go through his stats. And Chiesa gets a 6. I'd rather see Chiesa start or come on before I see Nunez at this point. I think Nunez is completely low on confidence, whereas Chiesa still looks hungry, still looks like he wants to prove a point when he comes onto the pitch. So I said I'd give him a 6, and he gets 1 shot on target. Weak shot, could have been a bit better, but his endeavour was there. So guys, like I said, my play ratings don't show that it's not the end of the world, but they just show that it wasn't a good performance. Listen, we are 11 points clear. We've got 8 games left. We are going to win the league, and we're going to win it with games to spare. So I'm not going to dwell on this performance today. I'm going to move on to the next one. We've got West Ham at Anfield next Sunday, which I believe we'll win. Hopefully win it 2-0. And we'll go on. That's it for me today, guys. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification button, and also share it, guys. Yep. Really, really, really bad day at the office for the players, but we move on. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Peace.